Guys, I really hope this game doesn't flop. I really do. I would be so disappointed.
Wanted to do this. Let's go.
All right.
3 days early access if you buy the most expensive version. We love this. But the game does look significantly better than it did when it was revealed a few months ago. I will say that.
Yes, a primal thrill.
The Superman suit is hilarious. Okay. I don't know. We just saw a brand new trailer for the upcoming Suicide Squad Kill the Justice League coming from Rocksteady Studios. This is, the same developers that created the highly acclaimed Batman Arkham series. And I don't know. I don't know. I made a video about 6 months ago hyping up this game, talking about how great it looked and how many possibilities there were for this concept of playing as the Suicide Squad on their hunt to kill the Justice League, which already feels like a very interesting concept. With more and more gameplay, more and more data, and more like footage that I've seen for this game, the more I just don't know if this is the same Rocksteady that I think people have come to know and love. It's not to say that they didn't put their best foot forward. It's not to say that the team didn't put a significant amount of time, effort, enthusiasm into the creation of this game, and perhaps it still could be good, but I'm not fully convinced. There are some games that come out that you see them, you're interested, you're slightly interested, but you have a point value. You know what I mean? There's games that come out that are must-play games that you have to play on day one, right? Just because you're a big fan, right? Tears of the Kingdom, stuff like that. Games that come out that you're like, yeah, I need this game right now. As soon as it comes out, I'm playing it. And then there are games that come out that you're kind of like, I'm gonna wait for a sale, right? I don't need to get this right away. And then there's some games that come out that you're like, you're not interested in at all. For me personally, when it comes to Suicide Squad Kill the Justice League, I'm very much middle of the road when it comes to this game. Originally I was on the level of like, yeah, I want to play this game day one as soon as it comes out. As a big fan of comic book games, and by the same studio that made the incredible, Batman series, yeah, they've got to be cooking up something hot here, and perhaps they are. But for some reason, from what I've seen, I'm just not fully convinced that this is a game that I want to drop $70 on day one. Obviously, I don't know if this game does come to Game Pass. If you're a Game Pass person, I'm not. So I would be paying full price for this game. And based on that, I just don't know if I want to pay full price for it. It's not to say it doesn't look fun. I just feel like and they've shown a lot of footage for this game, but from what I've seen, it just doesn't look to me like a game that I wouldn't get bored of very quickly. I feel like I would play it and I would enjoy it in the brief, time that I would experience it, possibly till the end of I'd push through to the main story. But once I finish that, I just don't feel like there's a lot of meat here to keep people hooked, unless you just love these characters or you love the customization aspect of it with all the different skins and things that you're going to be able to acquire. If you're not a fan of those things and you just want a really good story, I just don't feel like you're necessarily gonna have a lot of hours to put in after you beat the game, in terms of difficulty, in terms of in-game content and stuff like that. That's gonna keep you engaged for a long time, and maybe that's not the intention, right? Maybe that's not really what this game is intended to do. I'm just saying, from what I've seen, it doesn't feel like a lot exists outside of the core gameplay loop, and even that may be not be enough to entice players. From what I've seen from this trailer in specifics, right? The microtransactions, the game reeks of microtransactions. And I know that there's been some talk. I don't think there is microtransactions in this game. Obviously, there is a battle pass, and that's just going to have purely cosmetic stuff, right? And maybe there still is a lot of meat within the game in terms of actual stuff for you to be able to acquire. But I just feel like games that have microtransactions or games that put stuff out in the battle pass tend to withhold the best content so that it encourages people to get the battle pass, right? Because at the end of the day, the studio wants you to buy the battle pass. It's why they put the good stuff in there. It's why they put the best looking gear, the best looking stuff, the most outlandish stuff typically ends up in a battle pass because it's enticing you to get it. You want this cool looking gear or this great, awesome looking costume, you got to buy the battle pass. And that tends to result in, at least in my experience, games not having exactly the best amount of gear or the most stuff for you to get actually in the game, right? You end up having, you pay $70 for the game just to end up having to pay another $10 or whatever to get the content, to get access to content that should have been in the game in the first place, right? That's kind of what I'm getting at. So outside the microtransactions, another practice that I don't like that a lot of games seem to do and continue to do is this whole BS of play the game early if you buy the ultimate super mega deluxe edition, right? If you buy this ultimate super mega deluxe edition, you get access to the game 3 days earlier than everyone else, which I'm going to put my tinfoil hat on, put my conspiracy theorist hat on. I feel like 3 days early is when the game originally released. I don't know when this game comes out on February 25th. That might actually be a Friday, but you get 3 days early access, the game, which means you get access to the game on a Tuesday, which is probably when the game was originally supposed to drop. But they pushed it back to create this like false incentive for you to pay more for more content to get access to the game, to say you got access to it earlier than everyone else. This doesn't necessarily affect single player games as much, or co-op games as much as it does multiplayer games. Call of Duty has done this a few times. I think Call of Duty continues to do this. It's really bad for multiplayer games because it provides an unfair advantage to those who just either didn't have the money or didn't want to like shell out $10 extra or whatever for content or for, you know, skins or whatever that you didn't want. So now you're like, well, I have to buy the game for $80 because I want to get access to the game early, when it's not really early. It's just saying it's early. You know, I could go on and on about it, you know, about that whole thing. I just don't like it. So outside the battle pass and the skins and the 3 days early access, they're just practices that I just feel like just smell like a cash grab to me. It just smells like that the core game isn't going to have enough to entice players. What they are trying to do is hope that people buy the game and enjoy the game enough to where they can continue this game throughout its life and extend it for more than a year, you know, maybe get 2, 3, 4, 5 years out of the game outside of there and just keep cashing in on it. I just don't like it. As someone that has fallen trapped to microtransactions, to battle passes, in just about so many games I play now have a battle pass, and you end up paying for that season over season, you realize looking back that you spent a lot of money on this game. So you know, the game still looks good to me. It does. I still technically want to play it. I'm excited about it. I'm looking forward to it. I just don't know if I'm going to play it on day one. I think I'm going to wait, maybe watch some gameplay from other people when the game actually releases and see, you know, because obviously in these gameplay trailers, they're going to show the best moments. They're going to show the, you know, in-game content. They're going to show the moments where you have the most gear, you have the most accessibility, but, you know, they're not going to show the stuff that isn't great about the game. They're not going to show the stuff that isn't working necessarily the best. And that's the stuff that you're going to have to, as a player, you're going to have to find out for yourself, or just wait for other people to buy it and then see it through their eyes, like, you know, get a full glimpse of it. But I don't know. That's just my take on it, guys. Let me know. Is this a game that you're excited about? Are you going to check it out? I'm not trying to deter anyone from buying this game. I think if you're excited about Suicide Squad Kill the Justice League, by all means, have at it. Have fun. I hope you enjoy it. I definitely plan to get this game as well. I just don't know if it's a game I'm going to get on day one. And some of the practices that I've seen don't necessarily convince me that this is a day one purchase. But let me know in the comment section what you guys think. Is this a game you're going to get on day one, or are you going to wait on it? Let me know. As always, thank you so much for watching the video. If you do enjoy the content, drop a like on this video. Greatly helps out the channel. All that good YouTube stuff. Subscribe if you're new here, and I will see you in the next video.